What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be talking about why the majority of Kozmo decks and deck profiles you see in 2017 don't use this big guy, Kozmo Dark Planet, which I used to use, as you can see in my first Kozmo deck profile. But yeah, there's like quite a few reasons why people don't use this card, and I'm just going to be discussing a few of them with you today. So yeah, let's get started. What I want to say about this card is that it is extreme in the good sense and the bad sense, meaning that when it's good, it's like really, really, really good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. That means basically, so when it's on the field, it's basically got 4k attack, which is absolutely amazing. Can't be targeted, again, really good. When it is destroyed, you can banish it to add a level 9 or lower, which is pretty much any Kozmo monster from your deck to your hand. And it can negate as many spells on the field, their activation, card activation, by banishing a Kozmo from the graveyard. So basically as many times as the number of Kozmos you have in your graveyard. Doesn't have a limit. So yeah, pretty much nearly all decks use spell cards, obviously, and just negating as many as you can pretty much stops them from doing anything and just kind of wins you the game. So in that sense, it's like really, really good. But when it's bad, it's like really bad, and I'll be talking about that right now. So the first reason why it's really bad is because in today's meta, we've got these idiots. Yes, I call them idiots because they're pretty annoying when they use against you. So you gotta use them against people as well. Kaijus. So if you Kaiju Dark Planet, he is pretty much gone. Whereas, like, for example, if you Kaiju Dark Destroyer or any other big ship, you can just use Call of the Haunted to get them back and their effect activate and everything else. But this card cannot be normal summoned to set and must be special summoned by the effect of banishing levels that add up to 10. So what you got to think about here is that if it is Kaiju, it's pretty much gone. In order to get it back, you're going to probably need like Dark Eclipse from the field to banish from the graveyard and then add it back using Kozmo Town, which is basically 1,000 life points because it's 10 stars and it all just gets too much. And in the end, you got to think, is it actually worth, using the card? So in that sense, it's really bad because, you can't, pretty much going to be long to get it back. Whereas it would be better if you used a different ship because it'd be easy to get that other ship back. Like I've said, Dark Destroyer and Call of the Haunted. The second reason is you can brick with this card pretty hard. Like, after I've used it, like I used to use it before, or in this new meta, it's not really that good. For example, if you draw this and you could draw no Cosmos, or for example, if you draw these two Cosmo monsters and that, that's pretty much nothing. It's pretty much a really bad hand because you can summon this, but you can't do anything off that. You can banish a special summon, but if you're going first, then there's nothing you can do. Depending on the spells and traps, if you don't have Terraforming or Kozmo Town, you can shuffle it back in, but you got to think to yourself that maybe if this was a different card, then maybe you could have done more with it. For example, if it was a Reasoning, you could activate it to special summon, or if it was a different Kozmo monster, like a different big ship like Forerunner, you can still then summon this, banish special summon Forerunner. It's a bigger ship, it can flow into other ships during your opponent's turn, so it can destroy spells and traps. But if you draw these, you can't even summon this, and it's pretty much just a waste of a card in your hand, and it's going to stay there in your hand until you, for example, draw another Dark Planet or levels that add. And in the end, if you do use 2 to 3 monsters, banish and summon it, and they strike it, for example, or Solemn or Trenchal or whatever, you can banish it to add to your hand. Not that's pretty much the third reason. When this card is destroyed, you banish it to add a card to your hand, not special summon, just like Dark Eclipse, which is really bad because if it's destroyed in your opponent's turn, whatever Dark Hole, and you don't have any cards in your graveyard or Raigeki, it dies and you add to your hand and they can just attack you. But if it was, for example, Forerunner, you're playing 3, or you used an extra Landwalker, or you used any other big ship, you can banish a special summon, Wicked Witch, and then, stall. But you can't do this with this card because, it's going to be destroyed. Yeah, that's the second reason, bricking. Also, you got to think to yourself that you could use other cards in place of this, which could make you win the duel. Whereas using this card, if you're bricking, then you're not really progressing further in the game. You're not like making any progress. And if you banish 2 cards, you've basically lost 2 cards. If you don't have Farm Girl, if you don't have Kozmo Town, you can't get the cards back. And even if you do have Kozmo Town, it's going to take time for you to get them back. And they could get rid of it because they know that, you need the cards back. Also, if you've got this on the field and you've got, for example, no tin can, no cards in your graveyard, your opponent can still just activate spell cards and go off, and this is going to be here. Yes, it has got 4,000 attack, but again, there's quite a few ways to destroy this card. So in that sense, it's, bricking, and you can't really do much with it. Number 3, or reason number 4, the idea of banishing cards from your hand is pretty much not like worth it. Again, we're going to come to like it not being worth it, because for other big ships, you just banish special summon, you've lost 1 card, you can just get it back straight away with Kozmo Town. But if you're using Dark Planet, you got to banish 2 cards. If they strike it, both of your cards have been destroyed and his summon has been negated, so they're banished, he's destroyed, you've just lost 3 cards. Yeah, and in Yu-Gi-Oh we know that every single card counts. For example, that's the reason why people use Upstart Goblin. Your opponent is gaining life points, but it's about you getting to your good cards quick. And if you're drawing this guy, he's not letting you do that. And even shuffling him into your deck with Kozmo Town and drawing him again is going to make it useless. Again, I'm telling you from personal experience that this card will be in your hand like most of the time, and you won't be able to summon it. And you'll be thinking like, oh, if only there was a way I could get rid of it. Or you can shuffle it in but draw a card. But if this was a good card in the first place, then you wouldn't have to do that in the, shuffling in. Next reason is it can be Dark Hole and Raigeki if you've not got any cards in your graveyard. Which again gets rid of it, and you add a card to your hand instead of summoning a card, which you could do with a different big ship. Which in my opinion I find pretty annoying. Because it just makes the deck a lot slower. Like, that's why I use 1 Eclipser, no Dark Planets, because just the fact of banishing 2 cards, summoning this, if it's destroyed, you just add a card to your hand, and if you die before, like if they destroy this and you have nothing on the field and they kill you before that, you could have done more if you were to special summon a monster on the field rather than adding it to your hand. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the reasons why people don't use Dark Planet. Probably the main reason is that there's just better cards you can use. There's just a lot better cards. For example, if I've took out 3 Dark Planets, I could have replaced it with 3 Reckless Greeds, 3 of this card, which I think works a lot better because you're getting cards into your hand quicker, which you can use more. Like, it's going to make the deck more efficient. Whereas Dark Planet doesn't make the deck efficient. It pretty much just like wastes a card. I'm not saying it's a bad card. It's a really good card, but only when it works. When it doesn't work, then it really doesn't work, and you just, like, the amount of times I've dueled and I've had this in my hand and I've just, gotten really angry and just like, decided it how, like, I don't want to use it because it's getting really annoying. It's really hard to summon. The amount of times you top deck this and you're just like, well, that's say you've got a banished Farm Girl, Kozmo Town on the field, and you draw this. There's pretty much nothing you can do. But if you draw a different big ship, add Farm Girl back, summon it, attack if you want, or banish the special summon, and then you can, do whatever you want. If it dies, and you can special summon again. If it's Dark Planet, you draw it, and that's it. And even after tin can cards in your graveyard, they're useless. Here, you can't even summon it. So even though it can be sometimes easy to special summon, it can also be hard to special summon with all the different cards you've got in your deck. So in that sense, I just think that people, like me, got annoyed of using it, and we're just like, we're going to take it out and we're going to use better cards. However, you can still use this card. For example, I'm actually thinking of making another Kozmo deck profile with Dark Planet, because I'm not saying it's a bad card. Like I've said, when it works really well. But when it doesn't work, it really doesn't work, and it can get really annoying. But in my opinion, it is a decent card. But in order to win in today's meta, it's difficult to use. Like, you need to get cards in your graveyard in the first place, and then summon this card. And obviously you can't do the effect of banishing to special summon, which obviously slows down the deck. If you have a big ship, you've got a small thing there, you just banish special summon this. But if you've got this in your hand, you can't do that. But yeah, I think that's the majority of the reason why people don't use this. If you found this video helpful, then be sure to leave a like down below. If you want to see me talk about other cards in specific or why people don't use them anymore, leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I'll try and get the Kozmo deck profile with Dark Planet in case some of you are wondering why it's not in the deck. I've told you why, but if you guys do want to see a deck that you guys can use in Kozmo deck with Dark Planet, then just leave a like down below. Tell me why, if this video has helped you to know why you can't use this, but I can make a deck with Dark Planet because again, it's a good card. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.